So how can you ensure that you're able to get insane results for any client that you work with at your social media marketing agency? That's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. And reason being is because last week I opened up some spots for a new mentorship program that we're running. And in the applications, we asked, what are you struggling with? What do you need help with in your agency? And a surprising number of you answered and said that fulfillment, getting client results, and being confident in your service delivery was one of the biggest things that was holding you back from scaling your agency. And that honestly really surprised me because it's not actually something that I've ever struggled with in my own agency. I've always had a lot of clarity and been really confident from a strategy standpoint of what we need to do to get clients results. The challenging part is the operations side of actually getting a team to fulfill on that strategy and actually being able to deliver and implement that strategy at scale when you've got a lot of clients on board. But I know a lot of agency owners, even at high levels of your agency, you can still have some uncertainty around, is our strategy the right strategy? Is it that our implementation is wrong, or is it the strategy itself that's wrong? Or when you're just starting out, you just want that confidence and clarity that you know that what you're selling is going to get client results so that you can have that conviction and confidence to go out there and sell your service. So in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down a step-by-step framework of exactly how I've been able to develop bulletproof marketing strategies for our clients that have served us very, very well. We've implemented this for our core niche and our core client avatar in the real estate niche, but we've also been able to take this and implement it for a lot of other client types and other client avatars that we haven't worked with before and have been able to get crazy results. A case study that I like to use as an example is we worked with a real estate land investor, and we'd never worked with a real estate land investor before, had no idea about the nuances or intricacies of what they needed to get results for them. And we accepted them as a client, developed a strategy, and they actually ended up being one of our biggest case studies. After 3 months of working with them, they went on to have just under a $300K profit month USD, which is absolutely crazy. And we haven't had a client that's done that amount of volume and that amount of profit in that amount of time. And so these strategies work, and I'm going to break them down for you. Let's get into it. Oh yeah, and if you're like, who's this guy? Why should I listen to him? My name is Liam Casey. I have been a marketing agency owner for just over 5 years now. Scaled my agency to high multi-six figures in annual profit. And I'm here to simply share what I've learned so that hopefully you can take what I've learned, scale your agency a lot more quickly, and make a lot less of the mistakes that I made along the way. So I'm going to be breaking this down into two parts. Number one, the strategy. How do we develop the strategy in the first place? And then the implementation, just getting practical on how do we actually implement this strategy into our agency so that we can start taking action on it and applying it for our clients. Also, if you want this worksheet, if you want access to it, I'll leave the link to this Google Sheet in the description below so that you can pull it up and just have it for reference as notes. If you want access to this, no opt-in, no email, it'll just be in the description. So the first most important kind of big picture thing to learn and consider is something that I kind of briefly dropped and brushed over already, but it's that the strategy really is easy and it's the implementation that's hard. Once you have a basic understanding of the moving pieces of how these paid ads platforms work, how Facebook ads work, how TikTok ads work, they all work relatively the same. You understand in general the ingredients for winning creatives, winning ad copy, how to do targeting. All of that is relatively easy to put together. What is actually hard is the practical implementation of actually being able to apply a strategy accurately and consistently at scale with a large number of clients. And then as you grow a team, being able to manage a team that can actually adhere to that strategy and apply it consistently and apply it to different client situations. That is actually the hard part. So once you know that and you can kind of just take that off your chest and go, okay, the strategy doesn't have to be hard, because sometimes it can seem like that there's these hidden strategies behind the curtain that people are hiding that you can kind of second guess yourself and you think, oh, it's not that simple, it's not that obvious. A lot of the time it really is, and like 95% of the strategy of what goes into winning ads, winning creatives, winning targeting can be seen on the surface, and you can just take that and apply it, add your spin on it, add some improvements, and use it for your agency. Okay, so 90% of client performance, and when I'm talking about client performance, I'm talking about ad performance. So I'm talking about the performance of actual paid ads that you're running for a given objective. 90% of that performance comes down to and is controlled by these three variables right here. The offer, the high level actual positioning of what you're including in your ads. What is the offer that you're actually promoting? What is the offer that you're paying to put eyeballs on that is getting people to opt in and getting people to convert? What is the offer itself? Okay. Next is the creative. What is the style of the creatives? What is the ingredients to the creatives that are making them perform and convert? Are they image creatives? Are they carousels? Are they videos? If so, in what style, in what format? What types of videos are they running? Do they have lots of edits? Do they have lots of captions? Is it high production value, low production value? Is it organic? Is it user generated content? have attention to the detail. And now that you know, like having this information in front of you, knowing that, okay, if 90% of my clients' ad performance comes down to these three things, then you can really just hone in and focus on applying your attention to detail and picking apart each of these elements when you're doing your market research and figuring out what you need to implement for your clients. So you just need to break down, you need to look for these three things. You need to look at, okay, what offers are converting for my clients? So my example is real estate. My niche has been real estate for the longest time. And so I'm always looking at, okay, what offers are people running? Is it free home valuations? Is it for buyers? Is it, free homes list? Is it ebooks? What offers are people actually paying to put in front of people? What offers are people paying for eyeballs to see to get people to convert? And so once we distill down and we get a few winning offers, then that's what we know is our starting point, and we can start to build on top of that. If it's home services industries or local business niches like renovators and contractors, is it like a free quote offer or call to action, or is it free guide call to action? Those are the types of things that I'm talking about, is just looking at, okay, what is the offer, the general category of the offer that people are using in that niche, and what's winning, what's converting right now. Next is the creative. That's looking into the things that I was just mentioning. What are the styles of creatives that people are using? If it's, for a dentistry clinic, is it, before and after style images? Is it, big zoomed up images of big white pearly teeth? If it's, fitness coaching, what style is it, before and after transformation pictures? If it is real estate, is it, Google Maps image creatives, or is it, professional images of a real estate agent shaking hands with a happy client? And then down to the detail of, okay, is it, primarily video creatives or image creatives being used? And then breaking down, okay, which video and image creatives are clearly being run more and which ones are performing best. The way that we validate all of this is we just simply do market research. We look at competitors, we look at other agencies that are working with clients in our niche, and we just look at who are running ads right now. And then once we look at enough examples and enough data, we can start to see patterns and trends of what the majority of people are doing. And usually once we see in general a trend of what the majority of people are doing, we can see, okay, this is what's working right now. This is how we can improve on it. This is how we can make it a little bit different. And this is how we can stand out. And so you never want to reinvent the wheel, because usually what is working for the majority of people, or what's working for people that are clearly spending a lot on ads, is what we want to use as our validation. When people are spending money on advertising, if they're spending a lot on advertising, then people don't spend a lot on advertising if it's not working and if they're not getting a return on their investment. And so some of the best ways to look for and validate different elements of a marketing process, whether or not it's the offer, the creative, or the marketing channel, or the funnel structure, is either looking at like very dominant big players in an industry or a space that are like individual companies or individual people that are taking up a lot of market share, and looking at what are they doing, or looking at trends across the board of, okay, what are a lot of the high performers in this industry and in this space doing? For example, in the real estate space, it's a unique example because it's geographically bound. There's not like, one real estate agent that is the dominant real estate agent in all of Australia. There's lots of high performing agents all around Australia. And so we can take and look at the winning ingredients of, okay, what are the majority of high performing agents doing? See the types of ads that they're running, see the types of offers that they're running, see the types of channels that they're advertising on and producing content on. We can take those winning ingredients and develop our strategy. Hopefully this is making sense, okay? We're getting our offer, we're getting our creative down, picking it all apart, looking at what are the ingredients for each of these elements. The channel is simply just the platform that we're primarily advertising on. Is it Google ads? Is it YouTube ads? Is it Pinterest ads? Is it TikTok ads? Is it Snapchat ads? Is it Facebook and Instagram ads? Looking at, okay, in the niche that we are serving, let's say it's dentists, like what channel are dentists acquiring the majority of their clients on, and what channel are the majority of dentists spending on paid ads on, and just looking at, okay, what is the winning channel? If we've got a winning offer, we've got a winning creative, and then we've got a winning channel, we're 90% of the way there, and the rest is down to, just the details of targeting, scaling, optimization, and those types of things. But if you get these down and you do good due diligence and good market research on these three factors, you're 90% of the way there of having a really, really rock solid strategy for your clients. Next thing that you want to do is you need to define the end result, and you need to align the end result with the market research that you're doing, okay? So obviously for your clients, you're going to have a key end result that we're actually selling and that we're actually prioritizing achieving for our clients. It might be leads generated. It might be just simply name, phone numbers, and emails collected. You might have a few more questions that you ask. It might be actual appointments conducted or appointments booked. It might be we're actually our end result of what we're considering a conversion event is an appointment scheduled from a client. That might be more relevant for clients like chiropractors or dentists or orthodontists and things like that. Free trials, depending on the context of the client, maybe like a gym membership client, free trials is a bit more relevant. Actual sales, for e-commerce clients, we're working towards actual conversions and sales, and maybe booked calls might be the end result. So you want to get really clear on, okay, what is the primary end result that our clients in our niche actually care about, and what should we be optimizing for? Then when we're doing our market research, we can look at, okay, how are other people achieving this result? And we can put everything into context, because we wouldn't be wanting to model someone's ads that are just trying to generate leads if we're trying to book calls for our clients. And also, if we know that we're trying to book calls for our clients, then all of a sudden we start looking at a lot more than just the offer, just the creative and the channel that they're marketing on. Then we start looking at things like, what's the remarketing that we get? This is when we start funnel hacking, and we opt in and we look at what calls do we receive. And so if you opt into a competitor's ads, trying to funnel hack them to check out the strategy, do you get a call from their appointment setter? If so, how long did it take? If so, what do they say on the call? What's the positioning of the call? How does their script go? How are they structuring the script? What's their call to action at the end of that call? This is the level of detail that I have gone to when developing strategies for my agency clients. Is I will just be a guinea pig and just test everything that I can test, and just do a lot of funnel hacking, do a lot of research, look at competitors, opt into their funnels, and just pay attention to absolutely everything. When someone calls me up, what do they say? How do they try and convert me? Pretend to be a prospect. What SMSs do you get? What emails do you get? What remarketing and retargeting ads do you start getting on your feeds? Paying attention to all those things. When you start getting educated and when you are a marketer, you can piece all these puzzle pieces together, and you know what's going on. You know that ad that you got hit with is a retargeting ad. You know the audience that you would have to set your targeting to set up that targeting ad. You can see the format of the creative and the ad copy, and you can see how to model it for your client situation. You know the SMS and email campaigns that you're getting hit with, and you know how that would be set up in the back end of your marketing automation tools. You know the appointment setting workflow, and you know how scripts get put together and what the strategy is behind that. And you can piece all of these things together and make a cohesive strategy, and have full clarity around, okay, this is what we should be doing for our clients. Hopefully that makes sense. So this is just a bit of a process for funnel hacking. And so what I like to do is, for validating this, once we've got clear on, okay, let's say I was going after the dentistry niche, and we are booking in appointments. I would be looking at competing and similar agencies and find their clients. So one of the best things to do is look at large marketing agencies that are already very big and specialize in that specific industry. So let's say I was wanting to go after the dentistry niche, and I was wanting to launch a new arm to reliable leads and start going into the dentistry niche. Then the first thing that I would do would be looking at, okay, what are the 2 to 3 largest marketing agencies specializing in the dentistry niche in Australia, in New Zealand, in Canada, in the US? I'd look at all of those 8 to 12 companies, whatever they were, and I'd start looking through all of their existing case studies, looking at their clients and looking at which of their case studies and clients are actively running ads, because we know that those clients are implementing and using the strategy from those agencies. And so we can see on the surface the types of ads, the types of creatives that we're running, to get a reference point to see what types of offers, what types of creatives, and what types of channels are being implemented. We never want to blatantly copy anyone whatsoever, but we do want to model success, and we do want to shortcut the process to have validation to see what is and isn't working. Obviously, we've got our best clients' interests at heart. We want to get our clients the best results possible, and so cutting to the chase and looking at we don't want to reinvent the wheel, looking at an already validated strategy and then looking at how it can be changed and improved upon is one of the best things to do initially, and that's going to shortcut your progress a whole lot. Next is look for high performing companies in that niche. So we want to look for exemplary companies in the niche that you're trying to serve. For example, I'm in the real estate niche. Like I said, I'm looking at other high performing agents that are in the space that have large personal brands, that it's obvious that they're spending a lot on paid ads. If they're high performing agents, you can see their numbers are very transparent on different directories and things like that. We can look and go, okay, these people are doing this on their social media. This is the results that they're achieving. That's validated. This must work. That's a data point, and we can start to take learnings and implement it in our strategy. For example, in the dentistry niche, to get going with that example, you look at, okay, is there a larger nationally franchised chain of dentistry offices that have a bit of a larger PR or marketing team and they are running ads, and we can see the types of offers that they're running, things like that. Cool. Next thing that we want to do is, once we've gotten a good amount of data, we've got at least like 5 to 8 different companies and pages to look at and start picking apart the ads in their ads manager. Then we can start to reverse engineer it. So we want to look at the creatives. Are they running image versus video creatives? If so, what do they look like? What's the format? What's the layout? What's the style? Look at the ad copy. Look at how the ad copy is broken down. Is it short form? Is it long form? What's the headlines? What's the call to actions? What's the pain points that they're talking about? Read between the lines of why they've put what they've put there. What's the offer that they're prioritizing? Look at the call to actions and offers. Look at the traffic destination. So where are they actually sending their traffic? Are they sending traffic to a lead form? Are they sending it to a landing page? Are they sending it to a chatbot? That's really important. And you can start to look for trends there. If you can see that, okay, the majority of the good examples that I'm seeing, they're sending their ads to lead forms, then that's a data point to know, okay, we should probably test lead forms. If the majority of people you can see are running their ads to landing pages, then you can go, okay, cool, let's test landing pages and see how that goes. Look for the post opt-in experience. This is what I was saying, check out the SMSs that you receive in the, days directly after opting into a funnel. What emails do you receive? What are the call to actions? What are the links that are included in those emails? What's the obvious objective and reason that email is being sent? Do you receive any calls? If so, is it from an appointment setter? Is it from a local appointment setter? Is it an appointment setter calling from Australia? Is it an appointment setter calling from overseas? What's the script that they're executing and what's the objective of that call? That's the level of attention to detail that you need to have when observing this stuff. Next, pay attention to retargeting ads. Already touched on that. Next, identify the best channel to achieve the end result. If client fulfillment and client results is your bottleneck right now, you don't want to overcomplicate your client results and your client fulfillment with delivering more than one channel for your fulfillment. Like, let's say you're, just to keep it simple, you're in the real estate niche. I would never sell anything other than just a simple Facebook and Instagram lead gen, paid ads lead gen service until you'd scale past at least like 20 to 30K, because the operational complexity that gets added when you're trying to just master fulfilling results with one paid ads channel, as well as figure out everything else that goes along with the agency business model, you're just adding too much into the mix with no added benefit. And so we want to just master implementing and fulfilling one channel at a time, even though there's many other channels that would be very beneficial and help out a lot with getting client results. It's not sustainable to offer everything under the sun, or even just an additional service to what you're currently offering, until you've actually been able to scale the fulfillment of that and get results predictably with that channel and really validate it. Next, one thing that you can do is interview media buyers. So don't spin yourself in circles trying to come up with the perfect strategy. Use a proven one. Media buyers are your first hire, so you might as well start now. So getting a media buyer on board, other than like a VA, is usually one of the first most important hires that you'll make before you start expanding, a sales team, for example. And so that you're going to need a media buyer at some point. If you're hiring a media buyer, you need a media buyer that knows the strategy and knows how to get results. You don't want to be hiring a media buyer where they're inexperienced and you're having to teach them the entire strategy from scratch. And so if you know that you're going to need a media buyer, or you might need another one in your agency, you might as well start the recruitment process for them now and have some prepared and ready, so that when you need them, because usually it comes up when needing a media buyer when you least expect it, and you don't want to be rushed when you're making that decision. You don't want to hire where it hurts, you want to hire ahead. And so get some applicants ready for this media buyer role. And through this process, what you can do is, obviously you're going to be scouting and trying to find media buyers that have experience in the niche that you're going after. And so what you can do is, in your interview process for finding these media buyers, is you can just get them to walk you through their strategy and walk you through their case studies, because it's completely reasonable for you to request that of them. And they're incentivized to do so because they want to show that they know what they're talking about. And then that gives you a good high level perspective. You're able to ask questions, you're able to probe, you're able to give your input. And that will just be a really easy shortcutted way to just show and to see, okay, this is what this media buyer has implemented for a high volume of clients, and this is what's getting results. And so that is a really easy way to shortcut your way to having that clarity, confidence, of what the strategy is for your niche. Like I said, check out their case studies, ask questions about their strategy, and get a clear picture. Trial them on a per month, per client basis. So that's the best way to transition into hiring a media buyer, is when you're not sure or you don't have the full client capacity to take someone on full time and it wouldn't make sense financially. Just hire them on a trial basis, on a per month, per client basis, something like $200 to $300 per month per client on a trial basis, and they manage the client, see how they go, and then you can make a decision from there. Step 4 is listening to the market. So a good thing to do is listen to competitors' testimonials. So the video testimonials that other competing marketing agencies have put on their funnels or their websites or their landing pages, and listen to the things that their clients talk about that they really, really liked. So like, what are the things that clients in your industry are saying that they really liked about your competitor's service? And that will give you some insight around what you should be prioritizing, fulfilling with your service. That's really, really important. Next, questions in content and in Facebook groups. So, if there's any, wherever your niche hangs out online, whether it's Facebook groups, whether there's like big influencers and authorities in your niche, you want to pay attention to the types of content and topics that are popular in the niche that you're going after. Say, for example, I don't know, in the real estate niche, there's a lot of kind of micro influencers that are relatively popular, just as like individual real estate agents that produce content and personal branding. And all of the content that they put out, the content that is popular, the content that people comment on a lot, often those are really, really insightful into the way that your niche thinks, and will give you a lot of insight on what you should be prioritizing selling to your ideal client and to your ideal niche. That's really important. Questions and trends from your calls. So from your sales calls and from your discovery calls, you should always be taking note of and getting familiar with the patterns of the common questions that are coming up, because that's like the most valuable data and insights of what you need to be positioning and what you need to be prioritizing for selling for your service. And so if you're getting a lot of questions where people are saying, hey, like, we don't care about leads, like we just want booked calls on the calendar, then that's going to give you that clarity and confidence to go, okay, we need to be prioritizing booking calls. Where if you're speaking to a lot of clients, you're like, oh yeah, we've worked with a bunch of these marketing agency owners and they just promise us getting a bunch of leads and the leads are shit, then that tells you that you're speaking to a more sophisticated market that is sick of just getting promised lead gen, and they want more of a comprehensive, maybe a more holistic implementation and approach to their marketing. So these are the things that you want to be paying attention to. Next, one thing that I like to do is to build a funnel map using a tool called FigJam that I like to use, and just map out the customer journey for your funnel with all the moving pieces. And so I just created a quick example here just so you could see, but you just want to create a bit of a mind map of the different touch points in the customer journey for the strategy that you're implementing. So I like to break it down into like traffic/lead generation, lead conversion, and then lead nurturing. And so for a very, very simple example of a real estate client fulfillment strategy, for our traffic and lead generation, we know that to generate our traffic, we're going to be running home valuation, lead form ads, just listed lead form ads, and then some organic content and profile optimization. For lead conversion, we know that we're converting leads to a lead form opt-in. Then we've got our CRM, SMS, and email follow-up campaigns. Then we've got our client or an appointment setter calling to follow up. Then we're booking an appointment. Then we've got a pending deal. To nurture our leads, we've got buyer and seller SMS and email follow-up campaigns that go out weekly. We've got monthly check-ins to touch base with pending deals and warm leads. We've got a free content portal and a bit of a value content mechanism that we help our clients implement, and then a monthly reactivation campaign where we do an SMS and email blast to our clients' database to reactivate them for a monthly promo. And so that's just like a very high level overview so that you can visually, I think it's something like 80% of people are visual learners. And so it's good to map out your strategy so you can see it visually and just go, okay, these are all the moving pieces. These are the elements that are going on. This is what we need to have in place for implementing our client strategy. Next, create your assets. So for creatives, you want to make at least 3 ad copy templates and 3 creative templates. We make all of our creative templates on Canva just because it's really simple and easy to do so. And then you want to start having like a running ongoing ad copy swipe file where you're putting lots of ad copy examples that are relevant for your niche, and then creating some templates of your own to use in your agency. And then once you've created all this, you should have all the info and everything that you need in place to set up your onboarding form and your funnel, because this will kind of give you all the things that you know that you need from a new client to actually set everything up for them. And so you can create your onboarding form and your onboarding funnel once you've got your strategy in place, because you'll know everything that you actually need from your client to get them set up. Lastly, implementation. So create your client implementation timeline. So map out your activation points, which are like the key milestones in your fulfillment process that must be achieved for client success to be guaranteed. For example, onboarding, launching, optimizing, coaching, scaling, maintaining. And so this is something that not a lot of people actually get set up, but it's really, really important. And so really all that you need to do is you just need to break down the different core milestones in the implementation of your service. And these are usually them. It's like onboarding. Okay, what are all the activities and things that need to be tick off to say that we've onboarded a client? And then launching, okay, what needs to be done? What are all the kind of high level action items that need to be done in the launching phase? Okay, cool. Someone's gotten to that milestone. And then you want to attach timelines to how long each of these steps need to take. And having this client timeline is one of the best things that really helps yourself on the back end and your team adhere to client fulfillment, because there's a lot of clarity to know, okay, these are the milestones and these are the things that we're actually implementing along the way and helping our clients achieving. And it's like a bit of a progress bar for your client results, because, you know, if your client hasn't reached the optimizing stage and you've got like a cost per lead KPI that must be achieved to get out of the optimizing stage, then that ends up getting more attention, and it's just like another trigger and a focal point to act on client results when they're not performing well. So that is pretty much everything. There's not too much else I wanted to cover in this video. This was kind of just like a straight value video because, like I mentioned, had a lot of requests and a lot of people in my community mentioned that client results and fulfillment was something that they were struggling with. So I just wanted to give a bit of a brain dump of how I've always gone about putting together strategy for client results. And lastly, I've actually opened up some spots on my personal calendar so that you can schedule a call one-on-one with me, which is something that I don't usually do. Completely independent if you're wanting to become a private client or not. I've opened up those spots so if you can schedule in a call, we can have a chat and just give you some clarity around where you're at with your agency and what you need to be doing to scale as quickly as possible going into 2023. It's a really good time of year to be having these conversations to get clarity on what you need to be prioritizing and working on the agency. So if you're interested in having that conversation, booking a call directly with me, that link will be directly below in the description, and I hope to speak with you soon. If there's not any availabilities on that calendar, you can shoot me a DM on Instagram. It's just @liam.casey, and we can work something out for there. But I hope you got some value out of this week's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.